Gen Z grew up in the weirdest era of the internet. We went from heartless cartoons to pitch black rabbit holes, cursed internet rumors, and stuff that genuinely kept us up at night. Dark web legends, disturbing flash games, creepypastas. We saw it all way too young. And today we are unlocking the absolute most iconic and terrifying pieces of that digital nightmare. By the way, huge shout out to Raymundo 2112 for inspiring me to build and break down this iceberg chart. Make sure to check him out because his content is top tier. Really good stuff. Now, if you're brand new to icebergs on YouTube, here's how it works. The stuff at the top, tier 1, basically the sky, is the lighthearted mainstream stuff always everyone remembers. Okay, that's fine. But as we go deeper into the dark waters of the lower tiers or layers, that's where things get more obscure, more downright unsettling, and straight up horrifying. Dark secrets ahead, so viewer discretion is advised. Alright guys, just be prepared. Put your diapers on, you know? I put this entire iceberg chart together myself, and today we're uncovering these layers top to bottom. So grab a spot and sit back and relax as we deep dive into the Gen Z childhood trauma iceberg explain. Let's move on to layer 1. THX Hex Sound Effect. Back in the late 90s, THX created a robot mascot named Tex to show off their surround sound in movie theaters and on DVDs. But instead of feeling cool, Tex flying onto the screen with that insanely deep, ear-shattering, deep no frequency terrified millions of kids. And don't worry, I was there too. The mix of a cold metal robot and audio loud enough to shake the living room gave a whole generation instant jump scare before the movie even started. I remember, I guess going to like the movie theaters, AMC movie theaters. When I was there, I was sitting down, right? And so before the movie even started, the freaking THX, oh my gosh, that is loud. That is extremely loud, bro. That gave me chills down my spine, man. Oh man, we all been there. THX. Oh man. Return the Slab. In this classic 2000 episode, a floating CGI mummy named King Rames appears outside the farmhouse demanding his stolen slab back. Cartoon Network was mostly normal to the animation back then, so seeing this uncanny, hyper-realistic 3D mummy swaying in the dark wind with that creepy voice burned itself straight into our brains. It's universally remembered as one of the scariest moments in Network history. Basically, Courage the Cowardly Dog, one of these episodes. For me, I remember watching the show, but not this. I remember other scenes of like this floating white head and stuff. Look, Courage the Cowardly Dog, man, one of the creepiest, terrifying cartoon shows that Cartoon Network aired. It's very cool, but very terrifying at the same time. Good job, Cartoon Network. Good job. Herobrine, the ultimate Minecraft legend, originated from a 4chan post back in 2010. A streamer claimed to spot a mysterious figure in single-player Minecraft with default Steve skin, but completely glowing white hollow eyes. The rumor spread that Herobrine was Notch's dead brother, haunt building random pyramids and stripping leaves off trees, even though Mojang repeatedly proved he never existed. Walking into a foggy Minecraft world in 2011 had everyone looking over their shoulder. I remember when I was in school, many of my friends was saying, "Oh my God, have you heard of Herobrine? This Herobrine, oh my God, he's creepy and stuff." Man, this was golden. Scary Maze game, created in 2003 by developer Jeremy Winterberg as a flash game called The Maze. It forced you to carefully drag your mouse through thin blue paths, but right when you reach level 3, it concentrated as hard as possible, boom, a screaming picture of Reagan McNeil from The Exorcist blasted onto the screen at maximum volume. This viral prank trend traumatized every kid at early 2000s sleepovers. Crazy, man. Crazy. Monster House. On the surface, this 2006 film looked like a fun Halloween movie for kids, but the backstory of Nevercracker House was shockingly dark. The house was literally possessed by the vengeful spirit of his late wife, Constance, who was trapped under the foundation in cement. Seeing a suburban house turn into a living monster with carpet tongues and wooden teeth eating people made a lot of us look at all houses very differently. I seen this movie. This movie was weird, but somehow I liked it. Oh my gosh, just seeing the freaking monster, the monster house with teeth, like just opening up. Oh my gosh, that's trauma right there. PlayStation 2 startup sound. Released in 2000, booting up the console felt like entering a sci-fi realm, but if your disc was scratched or dusty, you didn't get the iconic towers, instead you got the dark red screen of death, accompanied by an ominous, low-frequency atmospheric sound that felt like a void. Sitting in the dark bedroom at 2 AM, hearing that red screen blast was pure panic for any gamer. For me, I had a PS3. I still have a PS3 to this day, and I don't like the PS3 was I have a PS3 Slim, so I don't get any screen of death. I don't get that. What I do get is that I hear the 3 beeps, the beep beep beep. I hear that. That's creepy. But for those people out there who has a PS2, I feel you guys. I feel you. Uncanny Valley commercials. Late 90s and mid 2000s advertising love using early 3D CGI weird puppets, like the creepy 2006 PS3 baby commercial, or the disturbing Little Baby's ice cream ad where a white covered person eats off their own head. Okay, in ice cream, okay, his body is covered in ice cream. That's all. These ads cross straight into the uncanny valley, looking almost human but just wrong enough to trigger an automatic fight or flight response while you were just trying to watch TV. I do remember this. Just staring at your soul while literally having a spoon and just scooping the top of the head and then eating it. What a nightmare. Let's move on to layer 2. Five Nights at Freddy's. Created by Scott Cawthon in 2014, FNAF turned innocent animatronic pizza parlors into pure nightmare fuel. What started as an indie point-and-click survival game blew up because of its terrifying jump scares and insanely deep hidden lore about missing children and possessed robots. It completely dominated by YouTube Let's Plays and permanently ruined animatronics for Gen Z. Oh man, listen, I still play FNAF. FNAF is a cool game. Cool game, cool stuff, cool creepiness. A one of a kind. Good job, Scott Cawthon. Charlie. Back in 2015, this viral pencil balancing game took over middle schools across the world. The rumor was that by crossing 2 pencils over a grid of yes and no and chanting "Charlie, Charlie, are you there?" you were summoning a demonic Mexican spirit. In reality, it was actually a clever viral marketing campaign for a horror film named The Gallows, but millions of kids were dead convinced their rooms were haunted when the pencil moved from a slight light breeze. I remember doing this I think in school as well, but of course it's fake, okay? But man, they used to creep me when we was all doing it. It's like that feeling of just doing it. Man, those were scary times. The Backrooms originated from an anonymous 4chan post in 2019 asking for uncomfortable images. The Backrooms became the internet's most famous liminal space horror. The legend says if you no-clip out of reality in the wrong areas, you get trapped in endless empty yellow rooms with moist carpet and buzzing fluorescent lights. The fear didn't just come from monsters, but from the terrifying, isolated feeling of being lost forever in an infinite maze. Now, from what I saw and heard, there was a Backrooms movie. So I haven't seen it, but I have seen like a little trailer of it. And I gotta say, that ain't from the lore, okay? The monsters, people just added the monsters to add more variety, more flavor. But the original is basically like the real terror is just you going insane because you're in this endless maze that you don't know what's going on. All you see is just the carpet, the walls, and the lights. You don't know how you got here, and now you're doomed and you're screwed. That's the backrooms. Oh man, I don't want to be there. Oh, that would have been great. I feel fantastic. First uploaded to YouTube in 2009, this unsettling video features a mannequin-like android named Tara wearing clothes and singing a synthetic auto-tuned song called I Feel Fantastic. The weird camera angles and blank robotic stare creeped out millions, fueling a massive internet rumor that the creator was a serial killer who dressed the robot in his victim's clothes. Even though it was just an artist's computer science project, the video remains a masterpiece of the uncanny valley. I remember seeing this. I don't want to see it. Okay? You guys can see it, that's fine by me, but just seeing that face, it just feels wrong. But that's the uncanny valley, when it looks almost human, but it's completely wrong. Lavender Town. When Pokemon Red and Blue dropped on the Game Boy in 1996, players eventually arrived at Lavender Town, the high-pitched, eerie graveyard city for Pokemon. An urban legend quickly spawned claiming the original Japanese release contained high-frequency audio tones that caused kids to get physical sick or act erratic. While the Lavender Town Syndrome myth was debunked, that haunting chiptune track still gives classic gamers chills. Ah yes, one of the classic creepypastas, Lavender Town. Oh yeah. Classic creepypastas. As I mentioned, during the early 2010s, internet forums were flooded with fan-made horror stories that defined Gen Z's childhood trauma. Iconic tales like Jeff the Killer, Smile Dog, Van Drowned, and Eyeless Jack spread through word of mouth and copy-pasted posts, paired with low-quality edited images. These stories made every kid double-check under the bed and close their closet doors before going to sleep. Ah yes. I mean, also in Roblox, the game Survive the Killers and Kill in Area 51 has tons of these creepypasta characters. So if you want to play that game on Roblox, feel free to. The game is really cool. 2016 Killer Clown Craze. In late 2016, a bizarre and terrifying trend spread across the globe, starting in South Carolina, where people dress up in disturbing clown masks and stood silently near woods, schools, and quiet streets. What began as random pranks turned into full-blown panic as videos flooded YouTube and news daily. It got so intense that towns issued warnings and schools were put on lockdown, making 2016 feel like a real-life horror movie. I do remember this. I remember me and my sister was like watching those videos saying, oh, the killer clowns in real life. And then video just showing like this car on the highway, and then right in the side was like this clown, they were falling. That was a crazy year. Crazy year that we all been there. Oh man, I'm glad. Hopefully we're not gonna have that ever again. Let's move on to layer 3. The SCP Foundation. Starting as a single 4chan post in 2007 about a weird statue named SCP-173, aka the Peanut. The SCP Foundation grew into a massive, glamorous sci-fi horror wiki. The premise follows a secret organization containing dangerous, anomalous entities and items across the globe. Stories like SCP-096, the shy guy, not my name, who hunts you down if you look at his face, scared a generation of kids into thinking these secret government files were clearly real. I thought this was real too. I remember when I first discovered the SCP Foundation, I was like, this has to be real. This seems real. I even Googled it, and it was like, no, it's not real. To this day, I don't know, but I think it feels real. I remember when my SCP-999, the Q monster, like, come on, like, I ain't no nerd, but I know some SCPs. Probably you guys know some SCPs too. This thing was awesome. Good lore, friggin' awesome, and creepy. Back in 2018, images of a horrifying wide-eyed creature with gross teeth smile started spreading across WhatsApp and YouTube. The internet freaked out over rumors of the Momo challenge, claiming it hacked videos to scare kids into doing dangerous tasks. In reality, the image was just a Japanese sculpture named Mother Bird made for an art exhibit. But the viral mass hysteria traumatized internet users worldwide. I remember seeing this, I was terrified. I was like, oh heck no. I don't know who made this. I don't know why people are reacting to this, but this is no good. Keep this thing away from me. Smile Dog, one of the most famous early creepypastas. Originating around 2008, the story warns of a cursed image named Smile.jpg, featuring a husky-like dog in a dark room with a terrifying human-like smile. The legend claimed that viewing the photo will cause insane nightmares, driving people mad until they spread the image to someone else. That creepy image alone kept kids up all night praying it wouldn't pop up on their screen. I remember seeing this, and still to this day it is creepy. Clown 2014 movie. Produced by John Watts, this 2014 body horror film turned the innocent birthday clown into a literal curse. The story follows a loving dad who puts on an old clown suit for his son's birthday. Okay, that's fine. Only to realize the suit is actually the skin of an ancient demon that fuses to his body and turns him into a monster. Seeing a regular dad transform into a child-eating creature made people view clowns in a way creepier light. I seen this movie in Tubi, and I gotta say, this movie is the chef's kiss. The realism, the makeup, the lore, the movements, it's really good. So I recommend you guys watch it. It is scary, yes, but it's not scary. You guys can handle it. Good movie, I recommend it. Caroline, Other Mother. Released in 2009 by Leica, Coraline looked like a dark fantasy animated movie, but the beldam, or the Other Mother, was pure nightmare material. She entices kids into a parallel world with button eyes, only to sew buttons over their eyes and trap their souls forever. Her final transformation into a tall, terrifying needle-leg spider made this one of the scariest kids movies ever made. I seen this movie. Really good. Very creepy. I don't know how they done it, but I'm pretty sure we all been there. Good movie though. Babadook. From the 2014 Australian psychological horror film, Mr. Babadook started as a creepy top-hatted figure inside a pop-up children's book. The story follows a grieving mother and son haunted by the entity after reading Mr. Babadook, where the monster gets stronger the more you deny its existence. The rhythmic scratching noise in his dark silhouette in the bedroom corner burns straight into the viewer's minds. Scenes before, where basically, just think about this. It's not the entity itself, but it's basically all the negative energy that makes the entity as a whole. So feeling depressed, being sad, all that feeds into making the identity just haunt you. Very unsettling. The Ring TV scene. Even though The Ring dropped back in 2002, Samara crawling out of the TV screen became an iconic core memory for Gen Z kids who caught it on cable. After watching a cursed videotape, Samara steps right out of the static film television set and glides towards the victim with long black hair covering her face, and permanently made kids terrified of leaving a turn-off TV in their bedroom late at night. I noticed from the Roblox game, The Normal Elevator, where in one of the elevators literally references The Ring. Literally, from the TV scene. That's super cool. Creepy, but cool. Let's move on to layer 4. Siren Head. Created by Canadian artist Trevor Henderson in 2018, Siren Head became an instant viral internet monster. Standing 40 feet tall with a rusty pole body and dual megaphones for a head, it stalks dense forests playing emergency broadcasts, air raid sirens, and assorted voices. Watching viral found footage clips of this colossal creature towering over trees gave everyone a whole new reason to stay out of the woods at night. I remember in the wiki, it was saying how this family was in this desert, and then they saw this pole, and then supposedly they saw Siren Head in the desert. Man, Siren Head, that was some good times. Really good times. Happy Tree Friends. Created in 1999 by Mondo Media, this Flash animated web series tricked millions of kids into watching it. On the surface, it looked like a colorful, innocent cartoon about cute, woodland animals sharing adventures, but within 30 seconds, every episode spiraled into extreme, hyper-gory accidents and chaotic body horror. Find this on early YouTube, permanently scarred everyone expecting a horror cartoon. Nowadays, even watching, like, this is like, a lot of people know this. It is still, I believe it is still on YouTube to this day. You guys can watch it. It is gory, yes, but it's not too extreme. I still don't know how YouTube still allow this, but oh man, just seeing this with my sister, it creeped me out. But we still watch it. Jeff the Killer. One of the most famous creepypasta figures to come out of the late 2000s. The story centers on a teen who snaps, carves a permanent smile into his cheeks, and burns off his own eyelids so he never has to sleep. Paired with the iconic overexposed pitch black edit of a ghastly white face, his catchphrase, "Go to sleep," became the ultimate late night nightmare for young internet users. Very, very prominent. Very, very prominent. Oh man, Jeff the Killer. Oh man, I remember in school with my laptop, right? I was pranking students. I put the Jeff the Killer screen in my the desktop image, and so I told my friend, I was like, "Hey man, check my computer." He's like, "Why? Just do it, trust." He opened it, he got startled because of the freaking Jeff the Killer jump scare on my computer. Oh man, those were really good times. Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Released on YouTube in 2011 by British creators Becky Sloan and Joseph Pelling, this surreal musical short looked like a knockoff of Sesame Street. 3 puppet characters start learning about creativity from a singing notepad, but as the catchy song continues, the video devolves into terrifying psychedelic body horror. A master taking child-friendly puppets and twisting them into pure accidental dread. Poltergeist 2015 movie, a modern remake of the 1982 classic. Recommend watch it, pretty good. This film took iconic supernatural horror and updated it for a new generation. The story follows a suburban family whose home is invaded by hostile spirits that pulled their youngest daughter into the void through digital screens. Between the terrifying red-haired clown puppet in the movie poster, oh my gosh, freaking nightmare fuel. Still seeing it till this day. If you see it to this day, freaking nightmare, man. Under the bed and the static TV portals, it reignited the classic haunted house fears for modern viewers. What a movie. And also, you can watch it. I recommend it. It's not bad. It's not bad. Pretty cool. Obey the Walrus. Uploaded to YouTube back in 2007, Obey the Walrus became one of the earliest viral creepypasta videos. The title actually comes from a Spanish translation of a weird internet rumor linking the clip to a secret cult, but the video itself is an edited tap dancing clip of Godness Bunny, an underground trance artist with polio, paired with a reverse The Little Mermaid song and distorted filters. It terrified kids who stumble upon it late at night. I remember seeing this. I mean, you can watch it, but really, if you don't like distorted audio and just weird, I guess, tap dancing and stuff, then I don't recommend it for those audiences. But I remember seeing this. I was extremely creeped out. I did not like it, and I'm not gonna watch that ever again. Blank Room Soup. First surfacing on YouTube in 2007, this bizarre 56-second video features a man eating a bowl of soup while 2 massive blank expression costume mascots called Ray Ray comfort him. The man starts crying as the costume creatures pat his back, leading to a massive internet theories that the video came from a dark web ransom tape, though it was later linked to performance art by Raymond Percy. The eerie silence and weird mascots made it wildly uncomfortable to watch. Still, like from The Obeda Walrus, you guys can watch it. Maybe it's still on YouTube, but I don't know, man. I ain't watching that. Let's move on to layer 5. Pony.mov, created by animator Max Gallardi, also known as Hot Diggity Demon, back in 2011. Pony.mov was a dark parody series of My Little Pony. On the outside, it mimicked the art style of the show, but every episode quickly spiraled into extreme violence, vulgar humor, and disturbing body horror. Kids searching for no more content clips on YouTube stumbled into blood, gore, and chaotic dark comedy instead. I believe all of it. Yeah, I seen all of it. Of course, you know, How to Get a Demon, you know, he does humor, funny stuff, and just disturbing stuff as well. But I recommend you guys watch it. For me, I find it funny, but for some, it depends. So, How to Get a Demon, Pony.mov, oh man. Goosebumps. Before Gen Z had internet creepypastas, we had R.L. Stein's Goosebumps. Whether it was reading the classic books, under the covers, or watching the live-action 90s TV show, entries like Night of the Living Dummy with Slappy and the Haunted Mask were terrifying. The creepy intro theme music alone, with the floating mask and barking dog, set the standard for childhood horror. This is a Chef's Kiss. Most likely still on Netflix. I recommend seeing some of the episodes. They're really, really good. Chef's Kiss. That's horror right there. That's what gets you. The Night of the Living Dummy, like the old 90s TV style, the grainy stuff, that's good stuff, man. Totally recommend it. Freaking Chef's Kiss right there. Username 666. Created in 2008 by Japanese video artist Nana A25763, username 666 is one of the YouTube's most iconic horror short films. The video shows a user constantly refreshing a non-existent user channel named 666 until the browser crashes into a blood-red demon-infested nightmare. The flashing visuals, reverse audio, and fake pop-up errors convince millions of young viewers that YouTube itself could be possessed. Have seen it? Do recommend it? Crazy stuff. Blame It on Jorge. Huge shout out to Blame It on Jorge. Since 2013, he's been one of the absolute pioneers of YouTube mystery content, deep diving into lost media, internet lore, and disturbing childhood memories. His Iceberg videos and deep breakdowns inspired a huge portion of the internet mystery community, including videos just like this one. If you love deep rabbit holes, his channel is mandatory viewing. So, I'm telling you, man, Blame It on Jorge, his videos are freaking awesome. So I definitely recommend seeing his videos. Really, really top tier good stuff. There Is Nothing. Uploaded in 2006 by user Nana A25763, the same person who made username 666. There Is Nothing features a pale mannequin-like figure standing in front of a blank background while weird distorted audio plays. Midway through the short video, the figure's face rapidly transforms into a grotesque, wide-eyed grin while repeating the phrase, "There is nothing." Its silent, surreal, and deeply unsettling nature made it a legendary early YouTube jump scare. Abandoned by Disney. Written by Slime Beast in 2011, this famous creepypasta centers on a fictional, abandoned Disney resort called Mowgli's Palace. The narrator explores the decaying, overgrown park only to find a mascot room where a photo-negative Mickey Mouse costume comes to life. The terrifying image of a mascot peeling off its own head and bleeding black liquid or yellow liquid turn magical Disney nostalgia into straight horror. Oh man. The Rake. Originated on 4chan in 2005, this creature got the name The Rake because of its long, needle-sharp claws that could shred skin like a garden rake. The legend describes a pale, hairless humanoid that crouches at the foot of your bed in the dark, staring with glowing eyes before making a bloody attack. Paired with fake night vision trail camera photos, it became one of the most widely believed creepy creatures on early internet forums. Let's move on to layer 6. One Missed Call. Released in 2008, this supernatural horror film and its widely unsettling poster, oh my gosh, this is freaking nightmare fuel, scared everyone who had a cell phone. The story revolves around people receiving voicemail messages from their future selves, hearing the exact date, time, and horrifying sound on their own death. The poster featured a terrifying face with distorted melting eyes and mouth, which even Moist Critical talked about as pure nightmare fuel. Hearing that iconic creepy ringtone had kids terrifying to answering unknown numbers. Not melting, but kind of like reddish, darkish reddish in the way. And there's no eyebrows. The eyebrows is just like a nose thing. I don't know, man. Just seeing this, even to this day, whoever made this should not get a raise. This is creepy. Literal definition of the uncanny valley nightmare fuel. Meat Canyon Animations. Created by animator Papa Meat, Meat Canyon redefined modern ghostic animation on YouTube, taking beloved childhood icons like SpongeBob, Ed, Edd n Eddy, Teletubbies, and Bugs Bunny. He twists them into dark, horrifying parodies with hyper-detailed, decaying art styles and unsettling voice acting. Stumbling across these videos while expecting a wholesome cartoon turn innocent nostalgia into pure, surreal horror. I seen Meat Canyon's videos. Very, very creepy, the way the character moves, the way the character is designed. But hey, still pretty good videos. I do recommend it. Pretty cool. But yeah, creepy. Sonic.exe. Originating from a 2011 creepypasta post, Sonic EXE took Sega's iconic blue hedgehog and turned him into a bloodthirsty demon. The story follows a hacked cursed game cartridge where Sonic appears with black bleeding eyes and glowing red pupils, hunting down his own friends one by one, with his infamous line, "I am God." And that ear-shattering reverse game over laugh, it became a massive trend across early gaming channels. Weather alerts and amber alerts. There is something inherently terrifying about sitting in a dark room and having a normal TV or radio suddenly cut off by the emergency alert system. That harsh robotic dual-tone chime paired with a bright red screen and a monotone voice broadcasting severe storms or child abductions instantly triggers a fight or flight response. The uncanny, apocalyptic vibe of EAS tones gave millions of kids an immediate feeling of dread. Still, when I hear that, I still jump out of my seat. It is very creepy to hear. Let's move on to layer 7. Resident Evil. Ever since Capcom dropped the original game back in 1996, Resident Evil established survival horror for generations of gamers. Who could forget the classic FNV cutscenes, or the iconic first zombie slow turning its head towards the camera in the Spencer mansion? From the jump scare dog smashing through the hallway windows to Nemesis stalking you through Raccoon City, this franchise gave Gen Z kids their very first taste of hardcore zombie survival nightmares. I played Resident Evil Revelations, and oh man, that game terrified me. Good stuff. Bong Chien Dong Ghost. Created in 2011 by South Korean webtoon artist Horang, this wasn't just a normal comic, it was an interactive trap. As you scroll down the quiet black and white comic about a girl walking home at night, the webpage forces your browser to auto-scroll down. Suddenly, a grotesque, bloodied woman snapped her neck around toward the camera with a violent bone-cracking sound effect, and jump-scared you. It completely revolutionized webtoon jump scares and terrified the entire internet. Oh man. Slender Bob, or Slendy Bob, or Slenderpants. During the height of 2012 Slenderman craze, internet edits started crossing over horror legends with innocent cartoons, creating Slender Bob. Okay, so basically, in some stories, in some lore, basically there's one scene of SpongeBob where he looks very ugly. So from what I remember of Slender Bob is from that image, from the creepy SpongeBob thing. But in other versions, taking SpongeBob's SquarePants and stripping away his face, stretching his limbs into a tall faceless suit, wearing monster inside a pitch black bikini bottom. Or in other cases, he has a white smile, red pupils, black eyes, you know, all the creepy starter pack. Paired with creepy ambient audio, seeing a beloved childhood icon distorted into a faceless stalker gave kids a whole new level of uncanny horror. So you got the horror, and you're gonna bring that horror into cartoon characters. Oh my, we all remember those days. I sure do. Oh man. Dolphin Man. This entry comes from a bizarre 2010s viral video made by makeup artist and creator Alexi Stone, who used heavy prosthetics to transform into a disturbing human-dolphin hybrid. Wearing a custom hyper-realistic dolphin muzzle with human eyes and facial features, the uncanny result looked like a genetic experiment gone wrong. Stumbling across or clips of Dolphin Man scrolling through social media like YouTube triggered an instant uncomfortable uncanny valley response. Let's move on to layer 8. Sad Satan. First surfacing on YouTube in 2015 via the channel Obscure Horror Corner, Sad Satan was claimed to be a game downloaded straight from the dark web. Built inside the Terror engine, the player walks through dark, looping, monochromatic hallways filled with distorted audio, reverse speech, and horrific real-life crime audio clips. The extreme mystery and unsettling ambient noise made it one of the most infamous cursed games in internet history. Pingu's Nightmare. From the classic claymation show Pingu, the 1986 episode Pingu's Dreams feature a nightmare sequence that traumatizes kids worldwide. Pingu falls asleep and gets trapped in a floating bed, stalked by a giant surreal walrus with human-like cackling laugh. The claymation style made the monster look insanely grotesque as they stretch its arms out and devour the bed. It remains one of the scariest moments ever aired in a kids show. But when I heard the news, heard about this, and so from when I heard again, they pulled this off. Very creepy. Raka Raka. Created by Australian twin filmmakers Danny and Michael Filippo, Raka Raka took early YouTube by storm with extreme live-action horror comedy. Famous for videos like Ronald McDonald vs. Pennywise or Harry Potter vs. Star Wars. Their content features hyper-realistic gore, brutal stunts, and chaotic demonic possessions in broad daylight, and also some funny skits. Very cool. Finding these videos at a young age made you question if you were watching a movie or a real-life horror scene. I remember watching those Ronald McDonald videos. Is that Hungry Jack's Billy? Man, good times. And also remember another video that was like FNAF but Sesame Street. Raka Raka, man. Another great Gen Z childhood trauma. But still, good stuff. I recommend watching those videos. Very cool. Klasky Supo. If you watched Nickelodeon in the late 90s and early 2000s, you know this vanity card by heart. Right at the end of shows like Rugrats and The Wild Thornberrys, a weird ink splat character named SXI named Boink appears over a bright blue background, paired with loud robotic glitching sound effects and a distorted voice saying the company name. This sudden unexpected clothing logo gave an entire generation of kids a mini jump scare every single night. I have not watched the Rugrats, but imagine all us Gen Z seeing this. I feel you guys. Very creepy stuff. Let's move on to layer 9. Rotafak Plachta. This puppet came from a 1980s kids TV show in Czechoslovakia called, sorry if I butchered this, Slineko, which translates to Little Sun. And the puppet's name literally means noisy blanket. It was basically a giant blank bed sheet stretched over two puppeteers, with an insanely long, bendy neck, wide staring eyes, and a huge long nose poking out. The show made it to teach kids about standing out, but its weird jerky movements and giant blank body made it look like a real live monster. When videos of it popped up on YouTube years later, the entire internet was shocked that this scary thing was actually made for little kids. I remember seeing a video where this nightmare fuel monster was in a dumpster. I think because the show did bad or whatever. And so these kids, these bullies or whatever, they found it and then they published a YouTube video where they just play around with it. That is nightmare fuel. In my opinion, I will not watch it, but if you guys want to watch that video, I do believe it's still on YouTube, you guys can. But for me, I'm staying away from it. That monster is pure nightmare fuel. Mr. Meaty. Airing on Nickelodeon in 2006, Mr. Meaty was a puppet show about two teens working at a fast food joint in a mall, but it was straight up gross. Instead of normal jokes, the show was full of creepy stuff like giant tapeworms, oh dear gosh, people turning into monsters, and gross meat coming to life. The puppet had sweaty skin, crazy bulging eyes, and super weird close-up shots that made your stomach turn. One crazy episode even had a guy turn into a giant chicken after eating a cursed chicken nugget, scaring an entire generation of kids watching Nickelodeon. I kid you not. When I first heard about this, even just looking at the two characters, I know something bad is about to happen. I know this show is going to be extremely creepy. These two puppets look creepy, okay? I'm not, like, I don't recommend you this show. I'm sorry. The one tape I remember from Blame It on Jorge, again, huge shout out. One of the videos covered about the Mr. Meaty tapeworm thing. I closed my eyes the entire time. It was so creepy that I still remember what the scene was about. If you guys remember Mr. Meaty, leave a comment down below, because oh my gosh, this has to be one of the creepiest Nickelodeon shows ever on Nickelodeon. I'm staying away from that. Extremely nightmare fuel. Let's move on to the final layer. Layer 10. Full stop punctuation. Back in 2018, typing a single period of full stop punctuation mark like dot, or just saying the whole phrase full stop punctuation into the YouTube search bar triggered a massive glitch in the algorithm. It was called full stop punctuation because typing that single dot or choosing a recommended phrase like the three dots or any symbol will bypass YouTube's safety filters entirely. Instead of normal search results, the algorithm pull up thousands of disturbing void videos, creepy text titles, hidden dark web clips, and unsettling audio feeds, or mostly just memes and stuff like that. YouTube eventually patched the main glitch, but even today, typing specific punctuation symbols or again the full phrase full stop punctuation can still lead you down to weird unlisted rabbit holes that show the darkest corners of the platform. I do not recommend you doing this because even to this day it will still show you creepy thumbnails. The thumbnails, they can do whatever. Extremely nightmare fuel. I remember back in school I used to do this on I believe on a school laptop or on my phone. And just doing this, I showed it to my friends. My friends, they got terrified. Yeah, it was, because I saw a video on it and I wanted to try it out. Creepy stuff. Even till this day, I still do not recommend. Very extreme nightmare fuel. Run the gauntlet. This is the absolute bottom of internet horror. The ultimate dark web challenge that traumatized an entire generation. Created as a brutal gore website. You heard that right, literal gore. Run the Gauntlet was a 20-level endurance test that forced viewers to watch increasingly horrific, real-life graphic videos without looking away. It started with minor accidents, but quickly escalated into extreme physical destruction, animal abuse, and real human deaths that should never have been on the internet. Finding this link through middle school dares burned permanent, unspeakable scars into anyone unlucky enough to click it, standing as the most infamous nightmare-fueled website in internet history. I do not recommend looking this up on Google. I'm pretty sure the link has been taken down way back then, but please, for your sanity or your sake, do not look up Run the Gauntlet. And that, my friends, my people, my audience, wraps up the Gen Z childhood trauma iceberg explained. If you guys want to see a part 2, let me know in the comments below. Again, huge shout out to Raymundo 2112 and Blame It on Jorge for inspiring me this whole iceberg. Really, you guys are really awesome, and all those topics that you did, thank you so much. If you guys want to talk about this topic from any of the entries in this iceberg, or want to talk about any topic you want, or just want to hang around, or again share your own memories of this trauma that we had together, then consider joining my Discord server, link in the description and link in my bio. And so thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.